guys, this is the second day of the Jaipur Literature Festival and I'm here with my team from tehelka.com, and we've been working all day, and we're missing the Sai Zahoor concert right now to do this wrap up, so we will wrap up quickly, hopefully. The day's been fun and hectic, and I'm sure we'll all look a little more tired than we did yesterday. But we did get a lot of work done today. A lot of fun interviews. Though it is getting crazier, it's getting really crowded. It's the weekend, and there's some estimations say 50,000, some say 70,000 people will have gone through the festival by the time it's over, which is a lot of people. So it was way more difficult to get interviews, do interviews. But the plus side was there was a lot of farce involved in what was going on. So hopefully there's fun to be had in exchanging those stories. Did anyone attend any sessions? You were doing the live casting thing.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I attended pretty much all the sessions, but I was there pretty much only for 5 minutes, 7 minutes, and we were live streaming constantly from the front lawns as well as the Darbar Hall. And then towards the end of the evening, we also got the music concert onto our live stream.
It's actually been very gratifying to do the live streaming because we've been getting these really fabulous comments from places like Jamaica and small town India saying that, you know, we're really happy to be watching this, and I think it's a good idea as well. I mean, looking at the crowds, it'll be nice if some people just stayed home, and, you know, some people who don't have to be here stayed home and watched the live cast, and, you know, maybe the crowds will be thinner next year if we can pull this off well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, I think for us the funnest things were the interviews because we didn't get to see a lot of the sessions. We'll hopefully see them because we've got them recorded, so eventually we will see them. My best interview was, well, it's a tough choice, but it was definitely Junot Diaz because I'm a huge fan of the writing, and what was interesting for me was that he was a completely different persona off stage. I mean, he's such a rock star on stage. He's performing on stage, and, you know, he gets all the applause, and he's boisterous, and, you know, he's all there. But he is really kind off stage, and he's really a easy person to be with. In fact, we had a little bit of a debacle. We were just about to start shooting, and we were moved out of the space, and we were thinking of apologizing to him, and he just grabbed the camera and the tripod and the mics, and he was like, you know, and he helped us set up, and he was holding the door, and he was pulling chairs for us, and he set up for us. But it's crazy, I mean, because we were in the middle of these intimate, in-depth conversation. We were talking about his psychology and his, you know, the trauma of being an immigrant and all that, and we were constantly being heckled with people saying, "This is my slot," you know, and but well, you know, that's I mean, that's all a part of the narrative. I mean, I wished, a lot of times one wishes that we could actually show what's really going on backstage to contextualize the conversation you're having, because, you know.
Yeah, in fact, I think it's been quite pleasantly surprising for all of us. A lot of us are very apprehensive about whether writers are going to be stuck up, difficult to approach, etc. But all of them seemed quite approachable. You know? I did an interview with Jim Crace. I just set the tone perfectly for the literature festival this year, because the first thing that he said in the interview was that, and he's a writer, he's a novelist, and he said that I don't think literature is important, and I'm not passionate about literature at all. For me, it's like walking my dog, and it just set the tone for me. So it's just this general sense of irreverence, which is quite.
The foreign writers have actually been a lot more approachable and a lot more sporting about all the chaos.
Absolutely.
And it's impossible to control the chaos than a lot of the Indian writers, surprisingly. You know, they've been more difficult to, you know, sort of approach, and some Pakistani writers have been very difficult. You know,
To get access to.
Yeah,
absolutely.
No names taken.
No names taken.
No
but,
names taken,
you know,
yes.
but it's definitely not been easy.
Yeah.
But I think it's also the culture that they come from. And
the important interviews that you won't be saying on our channel.
the important, you know the names because, you know, you go through the list, and, you know, if there's somebody who's not in it, you know, figure it out. But
Okay, one thing, I was mistaken for Ali Sethi in the morning.
Oh.
So I was doing
my
this.
God. You should have done it that way.
You are
the beard work finally.
It would have taken you very far.
So
That's
I'm
awesome.
jotting down questions for Jatin Das, and one man comes up to me and says, "Hello sir, आपका सुना मैंने बुल्ले शाह पे बहुत अच्छा सर. मैंने आपको BBC पे भी सुना है."
Yeah, but you had a Bansing interview.
Yeah, and it was exciting because we were apprehensive because one is always like, what do you ask, you know? But when we went there, it was like he has this infectious effervescence about him, you know. Like so,
and the
went
one
up
thing
to
we were
him
worried about was
and he said that we
the
are from
language.
Telugu.
The language thing.
Yeah, he was worried.
I remember he called me and he said, you know, Pragya, what do I ask him? And I was like, you know, we went through the questions and everything. So he's like, yes, but he can't
Yeah,
speak
and
Hindi.
he talks
He can't
in
speak
Thate
anything.
Thate
Punjabi,
Thate
and it's
Punjabi.
me and Raju. Raju's in
Who are both Bengali.
Both Bengali.
Who are both Bengali.
And
Yeah.
we'll, you know.
No, but still, like just the way he was gesticulating, like he really made us feel very like he said ki chalo chalte karte, you know, so that kind of a thing. But very infectious. Also, the good thing is that I don't know how he still manages to do it, but he sang some a good 3 or 4 songs for us. He had a performance suit after. He explained the songs, and he knew that nobody around besides 2 of his immediate family members could understand him. But he just like it's a strange kind of vigor that he has inside of him. You know?
Yeah, which is great. And I believe Raju had a very intimate moment with him.
Well, for the record, he did think that Raju was his nephew. So
His family member.
yeah, and his family members.
We can make that the resemblance is pretty obvious.
Yeah, that will make life easier. We had access. So.
This
Language
is
no
great.
bar.
This is
We are
great.
family.
Yeah, I mean, he speaks only Bengali, but you know, all kinds of stuff happens in this country. So you know, what's one going to do with that?
Samit saw me walking to Darbar Hall in the evening. He says, "Don't look so tired, man. This is only day 2."
I know, and he was
It's-
being
That
mean.
sums it up.
Well, I think
I
when we
can tell
I think
were
all of us are going through this thing. Now, Andrew and I woke up in separate beds today, and yeah.
it's alright. It can all be a part of.
And Andrew just like stared into oblivion and said, "Today is day 2. Kal was day 1 tha." And this has become like a huge.
It's also the number of people that are around.
It's
You
the
know,
number
feels
of
It's
people.
the energy.
come across
Yeah, so many
people
people.
and, like,
But doesn't
Longing.
it like visually get disorienting? It's
Yeah,
like the eyes
it
are
is.
constantly focusing.
It
Yeah,
totally
Yeah,
is.
that's constantly happening to me. I can't. I'm not looking at people when I'm talking to them. Yesterday, I was walking with Rishi and I had to enter a door, and I walked past that door back and forth, and he's witness to this 4 times. And I'd walk then and I'd be like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'd go this way and I'd pass it again, and I was like, I couldn't enter
It's
a
strange
door.
and disorienting. It's just too many people. Actually, I just kind of spaced out because I think the music concert was on.
Okay, but the moment for the day for me was within a space of 10 feet by 10 feet, there is Orhan Pamuk, Kiran Desai, and Chidam.
The Nigerian.
The Nigerian.
Shimama.
Chimaman.
Gulzar,
Wonderful,
Gulzar Javed
It was
Akhtar.
wonderful
Yeah,
writer.
yeah.
Wonderful writer.
And she's very good today.
She's
The
always
session,
very
yeah.
good.
She's always
She's
good.
always
She's very
really,
good.
really good.
Yeah.
I believe the Out of the West session was really good, and I believe
There's a-
Imaginary Homelands was very good. I mean, from my friends were telling me what all was said, and you know, but it was the yesterday was the day of the dictatorships, and today was the day of migration. So you know, we're hoping that we're going to get a lot more.
And there was the session today which had Pamuk was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a small skirmish between her, the Nigerian writer, and Rana Dasgupta, and they're talking about globalization and the international writer. And she suddenly said, "No, but you talk to me about globalization," and I'm not quoting here, obviously. Something to the effect of, "You talk about globalization when labor gets globalized and not capital," and you know, and Rana didn't reply, and there was a moment of silence on stage. It was like she's very, very good. So what I really liked about the session was Pamuk. Pamuk is fabulous, purely not by the dint of his brilliance, but purely by the sense of irreverence and how bored he looks. I think it's excellent.
Yeah.
No, there's a strange kind of eccentricness. So Rana Dasgupta asks him to sum up the session at the end, and he says, "Today we haven't learnt much," and he starts it like that, you know.
But actually, this time they haven't. I'm still waiting for the big spats on stage. I mean, they haven't happened.
No, not spat, but today there was just like a moment of awkwardness where Jai Arjun Singh was interviewing Kiran Desai, and he about halfway into the interview, and it was going fine. Everyone. It was a nice, quiet session. People were enjoying themselves and listening to the conversation. And out of the blue, he goes like, "Oh, and I also wanted to ask you, and about Orhan and how." And then I think when he was halfway into the question, he realized that it was going to be a little awkward here. But Then he goes like, and then he had this whole like 15-second stammer, and then he goes, actually, it's just meant to be a literary question, and then there was the whole audience that erupted in laughter, and I was like, and Kiran was like, well, I was expecting that, but and then of course he did ask a literary question, but that was the moment that it kind of completely, because everyone was expecting that, and half an hour into the conversation and nothing had been said about it, and then out of the blue that thing comes up.
I'd been asking a couple of, like, a friend who's talking to Orhan, and then I was asking the writer who was going to conduct a session with Orhan. We were constantly asking them, are you going to ask the question? And I think everyone was there passing the buck and saying, no, you ask the question. But I think, there's no question to be asked, but I think it's just someone who wants to go up on stage and say it. It's an authority thing that's, but yeah, it's been fun. So I think we should try and catch whatever is left of the concert, if there is anything left of the concert.
We should have been streaming. We should have been streaming the concert.
Really good.
Oh, we had awesome concerts. We actually streamed almost all the concerts except the last half an hour or something.
They were fun. They were great concerts, and we had a lot of fun doing them. But I think that would be all, and hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow. I think we'll have funner things to say, and we will try and be less tired.
Yeah, I'll try and be less tired. Yeah.
No, but I don't know how that's going to happen, because we are going to be in a completely crazy, chaotic production schedule again.
Yes.
And get 10 more interviews, 20 more interviews at the same time.
Okay, not a happy ending.
Not a happy
See
ending.
you guys tomorrow.
Yeah.